Hello, 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 and welcome to yet another episode of the Conversation Capital. Given before we continue, there's something shiny in my what? Oh, presented to the Conversation Capital for passing 100,000 subscribers. Did you guys see this? Did you guys see?
Guys, I'm so slow. I was thinking we're pausing. Yeah, I was thinking we're pausing the shoot.
Yay! 100,000 subscribers. I'm sure by the time this airs, we should be at like more than that.
105.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you to everybody that subscribes. If you haven't subscribed, why not? 100,000 people have already subscribed.
We're going for another 100,000.
And guys, we've been nominated for the International Podcasting Women's Awards or International Women's Podcasting Awards.
Let's go.
Yeah, in London. Yeah, London.
Yes.
No, real London. We'll fly
South Africa
on our brooms, random
Yeah.
people. But yeah, guys, it's so amazing. So many amazing things that are happening, and I just want to share that with our community, people that are part of the TCC community. Thank you guys so much. The category that we've been nominated under is visionary leadership, and all those things are really humbling. I don't want to lie. It's been such a journey. Such a beautiful journey. I'm just like, wow, this is us. This is
Yeah,
TCC.
it really has.
Yeah, doing the absolute most. So thank you guys. Thank you. Yeah, anyway. Bonga, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm awesome. Thank you, Given.
I'm great, Ursh. How are you?
I am awesome. Thank you. It's lunchtime.
Yes.
Can I also
A
eat?
late lunch.
You know, I can see you guys are eating. Can I also eat something?
Yeah.
Comments, or maybe let's go through reflections.
Yeah. Also, this is technically a get ready with me.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're
But,
just having more of a chilled episode.
Yes, yeah. One of those days where Get Ready With Me had to be rushed because the guest came early. And then, reflections. My reflection, short and sweet. My reflection is around community. And it's actually like a twofold sort of reflection. The beauty of community, living in community, being a part of a community. But in the same breath, how, like, if you live the way, like, mankind is supposed to live within community and not isolated, there are benefits of it and there can be provision that comes from it. And so what happened to me is I poured coffee on my laptop this month, and before the end of the day, Given and Nessa had said, no, come and get our extra laptop, our extra household laptop. And then they're giving me their Microsoft login details, and now, you know, I've got this clean slate laptop. And then I remember just as I was about to leave, Given then says to me, by the way, Nessa and I spoke, you like, there's no time limit, you can have it for as long as you need to have it. And just seeing like God's provision coming in the way that if mankind lives in community, provision can come from that also, because we live in this very hyper individualistic sort of world where provision should come from me, and when will I get my next gig to be able to buy a new laptop, or when will I get extra income to, you know, and just seeing how, no, man, if we live the way humans are meant to live, you don't have to guard everything about your life, you know, be it your next meal, be it, you know, the bed that you sleep in. Like, if you live in community, you'll be surprised how much can come from that community and what you can in turn give back to that community as well, and the resources that can be shared. And so, Given, thank you, Given.
You're
thank
most
you, Nessa.
welcome, hey?
Yeah, it's been on my heart for a very long time. I'm like, I'm not going to forget this reflection, because it wasn't even the end of the day when I had a laptop in my hand. I poured coffee on my laptop in the morning. By evening, I had a laptop to work with. And I was just like, wow, this is really beautiful.
And today I was here installing things for her.
You know, because born before technology was like, Given, you gave me this laptop, but now I can see me save as a drag.
PBT.
And Given was sat installing, and I just realized it's just so nice to exist in like friendship and community and stuff, and people can have your back, and you don't have to be the sole provider of your life, you know?
No, I've written so many reflections, like I make a list of them, that sometimes I realize that first of all, it's now making it hard for me to choose one, and then secondly, I've noticed that I have a habit of writing the reflections down or noting them without fully explaining what I was thinking at the time to myself, because I think I'm gonna remember. But anyways, I think this is a good one. I think we often gentrify our friendships. So the concept of gentrification is basically that whenever let's say for example, they want to build an urban environment, and you you go to an area that's very impoverished. So what you do is you gentrify it by further pushing the wealth of that community, so as to drive those who are currently living there to a point of just not affording to live there. Then they eventually vacate the place. Sometimes it's a bit more hostile than that.
Yes.
But essentially that's the concept of gentrification, where you urbanize an area by making it more expensive to live within the area. And I realized, Uguti, we do that with friendships. And I'm really realizing within my own circle, where not just my own circle, but also in other people's circles, where I'm noticing that people want friends that are in their income bracket. Or if you're not in my income bracket, at the very least, be able to keep up with my level of my lifestyle. Be able to keep up with my lifestyle. There's a friend of mine that I'm currently sort of like helping or just working with, because he's in a particular situation where he really needs to come up, because of something that happened throughout his life. I really don't want to spill his business or anything like that, but my experience with him and the position that he's in right now is making me realize just how few people would have the patience to actually put themselves in that situation where they inconvenience themselves for the sake of a person who is not as privileged as they are. Like, it's nice to have friends who can afford everything you can afford. But then what do you do when you have friends who can't? Even though, let's say you guys are a friend group, even though within that friend group, like, some of us are very fortunate to have, I know I am fortunate to have friends who, if you have someone who's lagging behind, the friend group is willing to fit the bill for the one who can't. But I think generally that's not what tends to happen. I don't know if you guys have a different experience from me, but yeah, that's my reflection.
For me, it's definitely twofold. Like, friendships shouldn't be about money, but that is how the general growing up and the separations happen. Because what happens when I'm always in first class and I'm always in I don't want to fly economy. I've got money to fly first class, and now to keep up with this friendship, I need to now fly in economy. And what if that's not my life anymore? Then what happens then? So it is tricky, and don't get me wrong. Speaking from the friend in economy, so as in I'm not speaking from the other side.
Yeah, I hear you.
But I can see how it can be difficult to always be the friend who needs to fit the bill. What happens when it's not the one friend who can't fit the bill, but it's most of the friends? So it's always like, in a group of 5, you're always the one who, if ever you want to go to a nice place, you need to be the one who takes care of business. What happens then is that gentrification, or it's just like, maybe it's time for me to just establish a new friendship group that can go to Paris, that can do the things that I actually want to do, and that, I don't have to feel bad all the time for having money to do those things. Because our luck is not the same. In life, our luck is not the same.
But we can also I think we can do more to reimagine what your different friendships will look like.
Absolutely.
So, for example, like a friend of mine was saying, hey, no, we don't need to be even out. Let's stay indoors. Like, maybe that friend group is not going to be the friend group you go on vacations with, but it will be the friend who you are at home with, cooking or braaiing or whatever. So that would be my response, to say, maybe let's not always think about something that has a cost. But if it does have a cost, let it be a cost that won't leave you like feeling like resentment the next day or something, or wishing you hadn't done that. And why that's important is because you also don't want that particular person or friend to feel like they're the ones now who have to do all the work no one wants to do. So because I didn't contribute, I'm the friend who's gonna wash dishes. Because I didn't contribute, I'm the friend who's going to be there to make sure mama has this, or
yeah, that's belittling, eh?
Yes, it's very belittling, and it happens a lot even in families as well. If someone is not the contributor, for the lack of a better word, they then do the the dirty work or the run around work. And this is not to say there's anything wrong with that, because if a person feels I can contribute this way, that's okay, because we also do need those activities to take place if it's a mqimbi or whatever, you know.
Sorry, can I just comment on that part, the twofold part to what you're saying? Because for me, it is important that if you're not contributing financially, especially in a family, you find a way to be useful.
Yes.
So it bothers my peace when somebody is not working, is not contributing in any way financially, and then they also want to be the lazy person. And really just, you're a drag, then we're carrying you. You know, I've got a real problem with that as well. But in the same breath, I hear what you're saying, finding other ways of, but also sometimes your insecurities because you didn't pay can make you see things a certain way.
Absolutely.
I can think of a time when I was going on a trip with a few friends, and the one friend couldn't foot the bill. And I said, no, I'll cover you. And it was like just between me and them. But generally, I'm passenger princess. So don't ask me to book a place. Don't ask me to book flights. Like, you do it, you know? And this is my relationship with that person. And they were like, oh, I feel like you're treating me like an nice girl now that you're footing the bill. And I had to like call them back to all our other encounters.
Yes.
I'm like, when have I ever been the person who books a ticket to anything? You've always done it, whether we were sharing the bill or...
It's what you're going through now that's making you see things.
Now see things. And, you know, so sometimes insecurities can also come from always being the one who's paid for.
Yes, absolutely. And, you know, given on that gentrification of friendships, it's... For me, I remember I removed myself. So it wasn't even them or the particular friend group, but because I felt like, okay, I'm out of place. People have graduated. Remember, I dropped out, then went back to school.
I feel like this is an episode, honestly. Gentrification.
Yes,
gentrification of friendships.
So I remember I'm the one who removed myself from those situations. So just like Ushla said, what if it was a friend group that was going to be open to doing things differently, or they didn't even see it that way? And I remember it wasn't even economical. It was just the fact that they are in different places than me. Because my parents would cover anything I need in different spaces. But it was just that insecurity that Ushla is speaking about, that people are posting graduation pictures, people are getting new jobs, etc. And then you feel out of place for your own insecurities, and then you move yourself out of that friendship, you know?
I hear you.
Yeah, so it didn't even come from the actual context.
What's your reflection?
My reflection is, which we're going to go into the comments, so it's going to relate into that, is how you never know how important some conversations are until you have them. And this stemmed from the episode with Letitia on natural hair.
Yeah.
And just how people took it, you know, because that's the type of content I consume. I almost underestimated how much the conversation would mean to people.
Yeah.
You know
exactly what
because
you
for
mean.
me, it's like how this is all I see on my YouTube. Like girls are talking about their natural hair, embracing their natural hair, or different platforms on my social media. So I was just thinking, it liberated so many people. It got so many people thinking and speaking that you don't know how important conversations are until you have them.
No, absolutely.
So this is to say, excuse to interrupt you, this is to say, yeah, every conversation is important, and we've said this on this platform, that we do have to show every conversation, not every conversation, but even the less popular opinions, because someone believes in those opinions. And by having the conversation, it's either we enlighten the person or educate the person, or maybe just representing a subset of people who believe in particular things, you know?
Yeah.
No, I also hear you. And Nuzi Pushabalala, conversation is the birthplace of action. She's the one that says that. And me too, the conversation capital has really exposed just how important the work we do as just starting the conversation.
Yes.
Because often it's not that we have the answers. There was another episode that we released where it was my opinion, but I wasn't saying it was the answer. And I saw how people were like, oh, this is wrong. And I've gotten to the place where I don't mind. My job is to start the conversation. Even if what I'm saying is wrong, come forward, tell me I'm wrong, showcase it, and let us learn, and let's have a robust discussion about it. That's the whole idea, that we start moving in a direction that's positive, where we're looking at different angles. Because sometimes if we don't have the conversation, you've got a very myopic is the wrong word, one-dimensional.
Yes.
One-dimensional view on a situation. And when you start the conversation, you bring in the option for people to bring in other views, you know, and it happens very often, like you said, with the Conversation Capital, when we release an episode that maybe didn't necessarily resonate with you, and then it resonates with thousands of women, or thousands of men, and you realize, oh, this conversation is essential. So many people are affected by this, and this conversation needs to be had. I recently hosted a conversation for the GGNC. Do you guys know what the GGNC is? Gauteng Geographic Naming Council Committee.
Oh, they name streets.
They name streets, they name places. It's like a whole thing, right? Firstly, there's one for each province, and then there's the main one, which is the South African
National.
South African Naming Committee, I think it is, or council. One of them is committee, one of them is council. And the conversation was in collaboration with Wits School of Architecture. And it was a public invite to the public to say, guys, come join us for this conversation, the power of a name. And it wasn't a room with thousands of people, maybe 150, but it was the people that were there and the passions that they had around the history of Gauteng, the injustices. I mean, there was a man who spoke up, and I hope to get him on the podcast, so I'm still going to contact you. I know I've got your number. But I reached out to him because I just loved the depth of knowledge. He was speaking to, and I had seen this, I knew the information, but he re-emphasized that Gauteng had inhabitants. Before it became the city of gold, there were Tswana people here. This is the Tswana province. And that's why the Gauteng name is a Tswana name. And then it pulled in so many people from different places to come be miners. So people from Eastern Cape, and that's why now it's a mixed masala. But originally it's a Tswana nation, Tswana area. And then he says it's even called Libaleng. Or Mabaleng. Mabaleng, because Libala, because of how flat it is. You know what Libala, flat. And so he gave like really depth of history, but it was just,
that person must come here.
No, that's what I'm saying. Sir, I know I took your number. He does need to come here. He's so brilliant.
Okay.
But it wasn't just him. It was realizing that when you give an open invite to the public to engage in certain conversations, you'll be surprised at the depth of knowledge and the people you could be inviting into a certain space who just need a platform. They've got so much knowledge to share with us. And so that's what I was experiencing. And it gave me chills as I was hosting this conversation. It gave me chills as to how much goes into, there was the deputy chairperson of the national committee of the renaming council.
Yeah.
And he gave so much insight into what goes into the process. How do we go about doing this? Somebody else spoke of looking at maybe not war or apartheid heroes only. What about what the area looks like? What about, just the geography of a place? It looks like faces, and then naming it after that, or, something along those lines. It was beautiful, and it made me realize conversations are so necessary.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Comments.
Okay.
We finally got through reflections really quickly. I'm so proud of us.
Right.
And this is unrelated but related. One of the things I miss about being in school is exactly that. Like seminars, you'd go to, workshops.
Yes.
I miss that about academia. Okay. So on the I don't remember if we did it the last time. No, we didn't do it. We didn't read it the last time. Ursula posted a comment to say on the topic, your natural hair is not as difficult to maintain. With Letitia, you posted a comment that said, off topic maybe, but can we please say, does this topic apply to the concept of makeup? And I saw this happen quite a lot. Not a lot. I saw one more comment that asked, you're talking about natural hair, but do you have makeup on?
Or did I say that?
Yeah, you posted this comment.
Or I posted it in the group first tutorial, but I didn't make that comment.
No, you didn't.
Oh, okay,
it was made by Puseletso.
Oh, okay. I was okay.
It was said by Puseletso. Puseletso said, off topic maybe, but can we also say, does this topic apply to the concept of makeup?
I mean, I understand why it's not the same in the sense that hair is more of a racial issue than makeup is. All races wear makeup. But with hair, it's almost like you have to take on a different identity that is not African.
I hear you.
Do you understand why they're not exactly the same? if the argument is being natural, yes, but that conversation was more about accepting identity, blackness, Africanness versus naturalness.
And
Even though the topic was natural here, you understand what I'm saying? It was more around the weight of being proudly black and African.
And I think maybe this comment would or type of discourse would apply more with your bleaching, with your
Yes.
those
Even contouring to have like more westernized features.
yes.
You know, now when you start speaking in that direction, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
some people are really contouring their noses so they seem sharper and this and that. That part maybe that would be a direct comparison with the conversation that was being had with the hair.
Okay.
I must say though, with makeup, just a very quick one. With makeup, I have no issues with makeup, and I don't understand why it's always usually guys that have an issue with makeup. Like, guys, eye candy, man. Eye candy motivates you. Like, even at work, it changes your posture. You know what I mean? I do, though, if the argument were ever made, I would agree with it that makeup does have a tendency to turn a woman who looks like A to look like Q. And when the makeup is off, you're like, hi, bo. I thought I'm speaking to a Q, and you're like an A. And that's not a rating that I'm using, by the way.
I hear you.
Yeah, it's literally just to say
From
there's
one person to another.
from one complete person to a complete other. And I know not all women use makeup in that way.
Yes.
But I do think, Guti, I do have a little bit of an issue with specifically that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And the makeup one is difficult for me in the sense that if I think of that clip that we love so much, Nifagili makeup, I will. You know, the lady is making, so it's from an episode of My Perfect Wedding.
Yeah.
And it's a very natural, it's a very natural sort of brides and bridesmaids. And the lady comes in, you know, she's a presenter of My Perfect Wedding. I don't know her name, but I think she did the ad. Can you believe it? I think it's her. I'm not too sure. She's an actress and she's popular. And then she comes and she says, actually, it's not the same lady as Can You Believe It? I'm seeing her face in my head now. But anyway, she comes in, she goes, guys, you know, did you guys put on makeup? And the ladies are like, yes, but you can tell that, you know, just powder nyana, like they don't really make up people. So she goes, I never make up. So it's funny that clip went around.
Yes.
And it was just to make jest to say, these ladies don't look done up.
Okay.
Right? And it points towards, I cannot go host an event, guys, for whatever event. And it's like I didn't take it seriously. It's like I didn't honor the invite. You know, if I invite you to my wedding one day, darling, you better wear some makeup and better show up. You know, I want to see you slay queen, you know. And so makeup has almost become a form of like dressing well, actually. You know, and it's a bit of a difficult one because people also, there's a duality to it in the sense that people use it to hide themselves. But I don't think that's necessarily the case all round in the sense that it can just be a show of like showing up. And dressing up, because I don't wear makeup every day, but I wear it to shoot day. Something is happening. I wear it to a wedding. I wear it to an event. But every day when I go to work and I'm in the lab, I don't wear makeup. You know, and so I think that it's for me, it's like dressing up. You know, sort of the same, like honoring the invite. That's how I see makeup. And depending on how you see makeup, that will determine your relationship and your thoughts on makeup.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
And two things on makeup. A lot of girls say this. Okay, I'm not wearing makeup to look like myself.
Yes.
Yes, I'm wearing makeup because it's an event or it's something, and I'm not putting this effort to continue looking like myself, type of thing.
But if you think, sorry,
I do have an issue if you cannot do every other day without your makeup.
Okay.
Absolutely.
That is an issue.
Apart
Me
from
too.
that event.
Yes.
Yeah, me
or
too.
apart from that occasion here and there, but you must be comfortable, or you should
Yes.
reach a place where you're comfortable.
If it's a mask, it's a problem.
Yes.
If it's a mask, it's a problem. But for me, it's the same thing when somebody says, I'm not going to dress up in sequins to look like Ursula in tracksuit every day.
Yes.
You know, that's the same argument for me.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. If like, Of course I must look different. We're dressed up, we're looking good. You know, of course I must shine bright like a diamond.
Let's go.
You know?
Yeah.
But once it's a mask, you know, once
I can't leave the house, or I hope people don't see me, that is an issue. That is an issue you need to address.
I agree.
But as for men and their issues with makeup, they must stop wearing makeup. Men must not have an opinion.
Yeah, I never take them seriously, actually, because for me it's like,
why do you have an opinion?
Actually.
I don't even look. I understand a man who says, I want a woman who doesn't prefer makeup. Sharp, that's you. If you find her, live happy. But I don't understand the war against it.
Yeah.
I really don't get it. Like, it's not an offensive thing. Like, it doesn't offend the public. It doesn't. There's literally, it's just makeup. End of the day, it's off. Like, I don't understand.
No, some people do. And it's always men that get triggered. If I think about the clip where I'm putting on lashes, everyone that complained about me putting on lashes were men. And it's such a weird, like,
exactly.
You what a guy. Why does it offend you so much? You know, if you don't want a woman with lashes, I'm not your woman.
Yes.
Thank you.
Simple as that.
You know?
And then they do this thing of masking it as if they like Africanness, so let's go back to our roots and our natural looks, etc. But should a girl appear here with very minimal foundation, almost unnoticeable, whatever, but you can see this girl is put together, he's not going to say that. And what you don't know is that the person has makeup on.
Maybe that's the deception. Because I don't think we men, and this is quite honestly true, I think any man who's honest with himself would agree with this. We men don't realize that makeup itself can be so subtle that you don't realize that it's there. You think that woman is all natural.
Yes.
And
absolutely.
Exactly.
Firstly, from the makeup being subtle. Secondly, there's so many things that go into maintenance of women generally, that when a guy's like, a natural woman like that, I'm like, she's got, like, you know, IV drips for collagen. She's got her individual lashes on. She's got nails.
Now that I think about it, often when they say a natural woman like this, it's not your everyday girl.
It's not.
It's the like one who has probably going to some esthetician, last number esthetician,
exactly.
and that person has a wig on. Yes. A lot of the time.
And but fine, even if they don't have a wig,
that's another thing.
For me, esthetician takes so much money and it takes so much effort. Derma planning, this and that it's like, if you think you want a simple girl, you're not looking at one. You're really not looking at one. Find me a
especially on TV.
Yes, find me a hand. Not even on TV, guys. Like men that if you're sitting at a bride, they pick out. I'm always like, find me a hand riddled with acne.
Yeah.
Call her beautiful and a teeny weeny
that's
afro.
That's what I want.
Then now we start talking.
Yes.
You know, but while they're still picking out flawless skin, money went into that flawless skin. It's not all natural. You know, look at Kim Kardashian's mom.
Yeah. Looks very young.
At 60, she came back looking like she was 35. And everyone's like, who's her plastic surgeon? And then you want to go say, I want a naturally aging, beautiful woman like that.
I think for me, the lesson also was learned. If I look at Nessa's, what do they call it? The bathroom mirror. That case where we keep all our toiletries and whatnot. I'm sure there's a technical name for it. When I look, we have in our bathroom, we have his and hers. When I look at mine and look at hers, in fact, hers is overspilling into mine.
Yes.
I constantly have to move hers back to her own because she doesn't have enough space. And she has if you look at her, you wouldn't say Guti, she's a Popeye. Not Dolly or you know what, a Barbie. She's not.
But to have good skin, you need to pay for it.
Exactly.
You know, there are one in how many that have. I had really bad skin until I could start paying for an esthetician, guys. Fact. You know, so whenever somebody compliments my skin, I need to be honest and say, oh, I pay for it. You know, like that's what it is. So when somebody's like,
that's why you find good skin in suburbs.
And natural women. I'm like, natural women.
Okay, and then given you posted this comment that said, I clicked the video because of the title, but the video or content is not elaborating or expanding on the subject. The title says, all workplaces should have menstrual leave. Having a uterus is tough. Equals false advertising. I wanted to hear more about the uterus and the conversation that substantiates granting leave.
Okay, yeah, so I understand a person clicking on a Get Ready With Me episode and feeling like I was, especially if the title has something that interests you, like I really want to know more about this. The Get Ready With Me episodes are not for getting in depth with any particular topic. We start with reflections, and then we start getting into even the comments themselves. We don't cover in depth any comments. Sometimes, like right now, I think we just did. Sometimes we have one that we stick on a bit, but we also we don't get into depth. And if you're a person titling the video, it's very hard to, because you don't wanna, which is a very bad thing. This is just technically how you, like a news bulletin. It's very bad to put a news bulletin, and I'm just using a news bulletin for the sake of everyone can relate to it, but YouTube works like that. You cannot make a promise for a person who's about to view your video in the title and then place that thing at the end. Like that's very bad practice on YouTube generally, right? So I try to make it one of the very few topics so that you don't feel like we're baiting you to watch everything just to get to what you actually wanted to get to. And must say that it's quite challenging with the Get Ready With Me.
Absolutely.
It's quite, because there's so many, since it's like a Get Ready With Me is not necessarily where we're just going to dive into one thing and go into depth. We have so many things that energize us and we dive into it where I don't even know which one to pick. You know what I mean?
I actually, I just to, weigh in the 2 cents that even I get shocked at sometimes the titles of the episodes. I'm like, and then I'll watch it and I see, but I've learned to appreciate the different things that we pull out of episodes. It's a reflection of what stood out for Kevin in the title of the Get Ready With Me, because really Get Ready With Me goes everywhere, and it goes back to the feel of the conversation capital. It's friends chilling under a tree. And by the end, if I asked you after hanging out with your friend for 3 hours and I said, what were you guys talking about? You'd be like, we talked about it, and you might say what stood out for you, but you'll find within a 3-hour conversation, you touched on a mother-in-law, you touched on children, you touched on work, and that's just how a conversation with your friend goes. And that's, pretty much the conversations, especially around Get Ready With Me.
Yeah. And
then I think another thing though, why I think Given was touched specifically, using words like clickbait on YouTube. It's very like, that's not what we do here, and I understand why you were just like, no, let's correct this before we move forward.
But I think our general audience, which is not a bad thing, that this is someone new or not, understands how Get Ready With Me goes.
No, absolutely. Because but even on TikTok, people that have complained about the makeup thing, our audience comes back to say, just go watch the podcast. You will understand what they do during Get Ready
With Me. There are a few people, Jay, who, whether it's on TikTok or it's on YouTube or it's on
why is she putting on makeup?
Something else I'm seeing come up again is why I don't show in the background. Why the camera doesn't show. If you're new to the channel, which we hope you are, and you've subscribed, is that our format is that I'm always in the background for most of the episodes. For some of them I will be on, especially the Get Ready With Me, or if it's an episode that I'm a guest, I will be on, but generally I'm in the background.
Yes.
And she's not forced to be there, right? Nobody.
Yay!
Team Bonga, hey. She's not
Bonga, your fans. Right? They are very protective of you. And I think also one thing I'm trying to do more and more. I do it with a few of our episodes, but I think it would work. It's just that YouTube gives you a limited amount of characters, thank you, that you can use for a title. So, and I try to use that very effectively. But I think with Get Ready With Me especially, I try to be a bit more lenient with not I'm trying to be a bit more lenient with not prioritizing this one segment, because we do have multiple segments that are completely different from each other.
Okay, and then this episode is on the topic with Letitia. This comment is on the episode with Letitia. Sorry guys, the drinks have started going in.
What drinks? What drinks?
We're drinking coffee here, all of us.
Okay, I'm not drinking coffee. Paula says, I'm so glad I found this channel. I have natural hair and was going to relax it tomorrow. Oh, thank you so much. I'm never ever going to change my hair texture. Natural hair is beautiful. And I think it's so awesome that we did that for someone.
I'm still struggling.
Mm-hmm.
After the episode and all the comments, I said, you know what? I'm going to keep my afro out for a week. I looked like Frankenstein for like the whole week. Like I struggled to style it. I was like getting ready for an hour extra. And, you know, and then like I really sat with it and I said, it's
difficult. Yeah.
I really could relax my hair tomorrow. I see the importance of keeping your hair natural with regards to just the advocating for blackness as beautiful. And so I'm really stuck between a rock and a hard place. And I just want to be honest about my struggle because I was so inspired. I said, I'm going to learn how to do my natural hair. Letitia said I can do it, so I can do it. And literally, no, I didn't last the full week. 3 days later, I went to go put my hair in these twists because I was just like, oh, actually, I can't do this, you know, because it was just really such a heck.
What do you guys think it would be a bad or a good thing if we were to have Natural Hair Month?
I think isn't there a day
on the continent?
There's a day where we wear our hair out. I can't remember what was it though. Remember in varsity we all had our hair out, natural hair. I just don't remember the day, but I don't think it's that big.
Around varsity same time, 2014 for me. I remember the natural hair movement boomed.
Okay,
that's when I first went natural, and I've actually been natural. I haven't relaxed since then.
Yeah.
But 2014 undergrad, that's when you know this thing of like, if you want to be a sister, you gotta keep your hair natural. You know, started.
Yeah.
And then that was my first encounter with natural because I'd been relaxing since I was a child. So I'd never actually, you know, sat. And for me, relaxing was just a way that everybody did it, and it was a part of life. And then I was like, oh, okay, there's a different sort of way to keep your hair. But I must be honest, it's been difficult ever since.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
And then Miranda says on the same episode, thank you so much for this episode. I intentionally kept my hair natural since my children were 2 and 3 so that they could love their hair. And now 10 and 11 and they now love their afro so much. We are 3 queens with afro hair. And I must say also having my daughter has definitely, I've always been passionate about my natural hair, but more so now than ever. Like even with the wigs I wear, she sometimes says, Mommy, is that your hair? And then I'll be like, no, this is a wig. Because she must know this thing, you take it off.
There's a difference.
This is not how you wear your hair, or this is not how your hair is meant to look. We have it on sometimes now and then, but there's definitely, like I took from Letitia, I will not have natural thing. I will not have her professional pictures with anything other than my natural hair or my braids. I want to set the standard for my daughter, and it's not going to be relaxed hair.
I also do think, I think natural hair is supposed to be a community approach. And I think that's why the maintaining it yourself is so difficult.
Yes, and that's why it feels like a cop-out.
Yes.
Because you feel like you're letting down the community, and I get it. Because if we are going to preach a message to say, you know, you look beautiful with your natural hair. Like, I don't mind natural hair, but the fact that I can't keep it out for me is like a tug I'm having a tug of war with that. You know, I always have to be in the salon unbraiding, washing and rebraiding. You know, I do wear wigs, but I'm not so big on wigs. And then that for me is like, then am I really coping? You know, am I really coping with this thing?
When I said community, are you thinking of the community that you are part of a community that you don't want to disappoint? I'm wondering if you and I are saying the same thing.
Yeah, because he's talking about taking care. Like someone must help you detangle.
You should be able to go to Bonga.
Yes.
And Bonga should be able to come to you.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
a collective effort.
Oh, I meant like a community as in we're all together.
That you're accountable to.
We're doing this, guys. We're keeping our hair natural, and it's for generations to come to see beauty in themselves, you know.
Yeah. But also, I think people who struggle with keeping out their natural hair, I always wonder if it's not the expectation for it to look a particular way. Because, for example, I have very coarse hair, and then it always shrinks. When I comb it in the morning, it's look nice and maybe high, but by the evening it's like, not the evening, by the time I get to work, as soon as it's felt some humidity, it's in this shrunken state. I just happen to love that shrunken hard state where you can't take out, you can't comb my hair while it's dry. And I'm thinking, do people who struggle with it have an issue with how it naturally presents itself, or you're trying to manipulate it to look a particular way?
Yeah, I hear you.
Because if you are trying to make it be flat and straight, that may be the difficulty. But if you're okay with it being up in the air and accepting it for how it presents itself.
Okay.
Yeah.
So must I speak to my personal issue?
Your experience.
My personal issue is having to braid my hair when I'm tired and I want to sleep. And then I wake up and it's flat at the back, and it's like, you know those Zulu queen hats?
Yes, it looks like this.
Yeah, that's exactly how my afro looks in the morning, right? And then now it's 10 o'clock at night and I'm tired and I'm not going to put my hair in braids at 10 o'clock at night, right? And so for me,
but have you tried threading? Because threading is quick.
What's threading?
You take your hair like this,
pull it out, and then
you
thread.
Quickly, or twist, like quick twist, and your hair's long, so your twists are not going to be many. You see, that's why.
This is why it's
that's why.
Communal.
But
thing.
also, guys, this is why I spoke about.
It's just like typically a girl who's good with hair. It's like, and you just quickly go 1 2 1 2.
No, cause
in 1 2.
This is where I spoke about passion.
Yeah.
This is where I spoke about passion for your hair.
Okay.
Yes, because
I'm gonna keep trying, guys, because I don't want to let the community down.
No, you're not letting the community down. You're not. But I'm just saying, your hair's long. You can see in that twist. Your hair needs only 4 bantu knots for it to sleep at night. Literally 4 twist, sleep, and those twists don't have to be perfect. You know. So I'm just saying,
my hair is overwhelmingly thick.
Okay.
So really 4 is not enough. Like ingada, my hair looks like a wig, guys. You disagree?
I'm gonna be quiet here because like I disagree, because I've seen your hair in videos.
Mix masala.
No, I've seen her hair in videos.
My hair's very coarse, very thick. You know, very thick. It looks like a Mama Jack. You know, like wearing a fake Mama Afro wig.
Okay.
So it's very like 4 bantu knots is not enough. Or unless maybe my hands are
I think your hand trim is dainty. Your hands are dainty, because I can see myself being like, oh,
you can tame it.
Yeah, like 4 thingies. But yeah, that's a conversation for another day. But it's just to say, if you in that, just think about how you are looking at that hair, and maybe are you trying to manipulate it to look a particular way? That could be a struggle, because like I said, in the morning, wake up, water on my hair, it's going to look this shrunken state, but I'm happy with that, because that's how it presents itself, you know. But that's, like I said, it's my experience, but we must be open to looking at how we manage it.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then on that, there were a lot of comments here. And then on that episode here, Letitia True Heart says, "See my daughter, I made you to stand out." That's a quote from the episode. And True Heart goes on to say, "I felt that. You brought tears to my eyes. I'm in my 50s and never felt good about my natural hair. I'm in year 2 of my natural hair journey and loving every minute of it. Thank you. This is a necessary conversation." Another commenter says, "This was a healing episode. Thank you for this much needed conversation. We need more of this in the global community so we can undo the years of self-rejection and seeking acceptance from unattainable society norms that only cater to other races. It's so important to choose ourselves. God created selves, and allow Him to show us the beauty in our uniqueness. Fantastic episode. Just subscribed." Ezintle Handmade also said, "Such an important conversation to be had in South Africa. I know I always say this for every episode, given our lack of knowledge. Nyezinwele zetu. I am passionate about my natural hair, and this was ignited even more when I became umama wamantombazane." For translation, I didn't translate the first part, but for translation it says, it ignited even more when I became a mother of girls. Hair care days in my home are like dates with the girls, as we get to have our chat sessions, and it's really always a day to look forward to. Niqhubeke njalo with these amazing conversations. Translation, continue having these amazing conversations. And then Beso says, I'm so overjoyed that this conversation is being had. I have been saying this for years about how our hair is different for a reason, and God made us to stand out and not fit in. We need to have more of these conversations, especially amongst us as Black women. Thank you for this conversation. And then Amanda says, in 2012, I decided to stop using relaxers. I have 3 girls, with the firstborn being 16 years old. I made a decision that she will not use relaxers until she was about 12 years, so she could decide. 2 years into her using relaxers, she decided she doesn't want to use relaxers anymore. My 4-year-old and 6-year-old know nothing except natural hair. I've kept my hair natural as well. I struggled to get off the shelf product. That helped. So I had to start making my own, and this started with the firstborn. I mix my own hair products and I adjust according to each girl's hair type. Thank you. I thoroughly enjoyed this episode. I actually selected this comment because this is what a lot of girls end up doing. They end up having to make their own products. So like you'll mix shea butter with castor oil, with this and this, there's a carrier oil, there's this and that, and how people don't feel like the market serves them.
Yeah.
And a lady whose products I used to use the first time I went natural, actually started in the same way she was doing her daughter's hair, and started mixing her own products. Because she felt like products on the market are not helpful. And then I think I'm going to make this the last comment.
Okay.
Pumzile says, I have natural hair and gray. And for me, all the time when I go to the salon, they tell me how I should dye my hair. I'm almost 50 and love and embrace what I am. I appreciate this video. It blows my mind that people encourage people to dye their gray hair.
I also think gray is so beautiful.
Yeah, and for me, it's like, not only, some people get gray hair quite early in their life, so it's not always a signifying of or an identifier for aging. But for me, with aging, I feel like you're getting older, you're living long enough. Like, why would you want to cover that?
I also think it's beautiful.
You are adding years, you're still alive.
I immediately think of like Connie Ferguson.
Yeah, I feel like I hope to see more women more women are embracing it. I discovered a gray hair and I'm like, ooh, I hope this gets bigger or a larger, a
larger patch.
Yes.
I hear. Yeah, I also think gray hair is absolutely beautiful. I mean, even on young women, I think of Mpumi Ledwaba.
Yes, that patch.
Beautiful.
She also has a patch.
Is that the last comment?
It's not the last comment. I have 2 more. Snow Vuyo says, I cut my hair 2 months ago and it's my first time being natural, and I haven't received too much love towards my hair from those close to me, family, hairstylists, etc. This conversation really touched me and was very insightful. I mean, we touched on this in relation especially to salons. If a salon is not for natural hair, they want to say, no, it go blow away, and that is relaxer. Relaxer. That's what people don't realize. It's just a mild form of relaxer, but it still is
blowout.
Blowout. So you will get funny looks, especially in salons. It's like
it's like you're exhausting. And also just how they pull and tug, but then natural hair salons often are so expensive. So it's like, how do we win? Even as you're reading the comments,
expensive happens when there isn't ubiquity. So the fewer natural hair salons there are, the more premium prices you'll have to pay. And the more ubiquitous it becomes, or more competition there is, the more they have to compete with one another.
I hear you. Yeah, I also hope we can get to a place where natural hair salons are the standard. And then,
in Africa.
Yes. And I'm thinking about how I got to know so much, and now I don't have to spend a lot of time, as because in varsity I had the time. But I can imagine for someone who's just starting their natural hair journey, I can imagine how it's going to seem time consuming and you're going to want to go to a salon. But for me, I have all the tools at home because I started the journey in varsity and I had all the time to watch all the YouTube videos and learn anything. But right now, if you're learning it a bit late in your life, you don't have the luxury of the time I had to learn how to manage my hair. So I definitely understand that. So on the one last comment, actually 2 more comments, I think we can do 2 more. It's a TikTok comment on our episode with Dudu, ne?
Yeah.
Which was about dating. This person says, I clocked that I was looking for paternal love in my relationships. I truly gave those men too much responsibility. It was a tough pill to swallow.
Okay.
She said, I clocked that.
I clocked that I was looking for paternal love in my relationships. I truly gave those men too much responsibility. It was a tough pill to swallow.
That, I must commend the
Right?
self-awareness.
Yes.
Yeah, I must. I really must.
That's why I added it here. And then, okay,
I feel like translating that comment and dialing it down, it's a bit too academic hong for me.
Not that it's a bad comment.
Yeah,
No,
not
no,
that
no.
it's, no, not at all.
No, it's not
Exactly.
Hong
But I'm
Kong,
just
but
thinking,
paternal love.
paternal love. She's basically saying, I wanted a father's love in my boyfriend.
Yes.
Right? Not to say that you guys are but I just felt it might fall on deaf ears if we don't, because that's a beautiful comment.
Yes, very.
To say that my dad wasn't around and I looked for this dad's love in these men and I gave them too much responsibility. Oh, damn.
And that's what a lot of girls do. I wanted to wrap up with this episode. This person actually gave us money, 105 rand. So
Okay,
Lebone
let's
Mazibuku.
go.
Lebone Mazibuku, keep it up, girl. And if you give us more, I will show on camera.
Let's
Because this
go.
is what she's saying. She says, please insist that Sis B goes on camera, especially for Get Ready With Me episode. She's absolutely adorbs. Also, I'm hoping for more content. Please don't slow down. Lots of love. So if you give us 200,
Yeah. Well, busy
no, I'm just playing. It's so amazing that you're giving us
Yes,
what are they,
yes.
gifts, ne?
Yeah.
It's so amazing that you're already giving
Super
us
thanks.
gifts. Thank you
Super
so
thanks,
much for
yeah.
that. So I think that's a perfect way to wrap up this episode.
No, it absolutely is a perfect way. And Lubwana Mazibuko comments quite a lot. And I know this because for the longest time I thought it was my cousin. Then one day I'm talking to my cousin. She's like, no, that's not me. Because my cousin's new surname is Libone and her old surname is Mazibuko.
Okay.
So I always thought it was my cousin commenting. So every time I'd see it and she'd say something, I'm like,
That
but
makes
you-
sense.
I'm like, but you know this about me. And, and then the other day when I was trying to my cousin's like, that's not me, girl.
yeah, so you even asked Ken, how do we contact you?
Oh, did I
Yeah,
ask them?
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yeah, because they comment quite a lot and I've always noticed them because I always thought it was somebody I was related to. So yeah, Lebone, thank you so much for the support. We see you, girl. And we've been trying to reach a few of our people.
Yes.
But we've gotten them, ne?
Yeah.
Lebon is maybe
Yeah.
the only one who hasn't reached out.
Yeah, via email,
Yeah.
probably. Yeah, but a lot of you guys came via email. We had put out a general statement, but we actually knew who we were looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah, even though we put out a general sort of statement. Yeah, but anyway, so we'll be reaching out to you guys. And thank you so much for everybody that responded to that call for emails. And I think that's it for today's Get Ready With Me. Guys, that was today's episode of Get Ready With Me on the Conversation Capital. Or what was this? Eat With Me. This was Eat With Me.
Yeah, it was lunchtime with us.
Yeah, it was
Yes,
lunchtime on the
yes.
Conversation Capital. For now, though, goodbye and God bless.